And now it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, Corey Sandin, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Royal Polaris, the world's finest long-range sports fisher. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray with Rock Cod Rick Maxa. We're in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup here, right next to the San Diego landings in Point Loma. We have a couple of great guests. Live from South Carolina, the Shimano headquarters, we have Tristin Poole and Kade Gewanter from Shimano talking about all kinds of great products that Shimano's coming out with, new products, and about their fantastic booth coming up at both the PCS shows in Costa Mesa and Del Mar. So you stay tuned. This is Southern California's Sport Fishing Voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook, YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Introducing new Power Pro Max 8 microfilament braided fishing line. It's built for offshore anglers seeking smooth casting and control. Power Pro Max 8 features an 8-carrier Spectra HT construction that cuts through current with ease for precise vertical jigging with a 25% thinner diameter. Available in white and metered 4-color for trolling spread control and precise jigging depths. It's stronger, smoother, and thinner. Power Pro Max 8 is now available at your tackle retailer.
Inside information is everything when it comes to catching fish in Southern California. You need a code group to connect with what's happening on the water. FishDope.com is your code group. Inside information available at your fingertips 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane, along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. They become your code group. You get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Quintin, 365 days a year. FishDope.com has online planning tools, temperature and chlorophyll charts, hot bite icons, and more. Take it from me, if you don't have FishDope.com, you're not part of the in-the-know crowd. Membership is affordable and good for an entire year. Plus, use the special code and save $30 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. What a fun show today is going to be, man. The shows are coming, the weather's great, and we got the boys from Shimano with all kinds of new stuff to talk about. Today's going to be a good one, man.
Yeah, good morning, Tristin and Kade.
Morning, man. How are you?
Hey, we're doing great. Great to have you here on Let's Talk Hookup. And how's the weather in South Carolina?
Well, it started off a little bit rainy this morning, but the sun's out. Unfortunately, it's blowing a little bit today, but it feels like spring, that's for sure.
Okay, not a fishing day, because of the wind, huh?
No, it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, not going to be out there trolling ledge runners.
Yeah.
What's it doing out there, Pete?
Oh, it's a beautiful day here. It's sunny, and it's supposed to be in the 70s here all week, and flat calm, and ready to go fishing for sure.
We're ready.
And what's interesting about we talked about yesterday is we had this pretty big storm, which is what's happening probably in the East Coast there today.
Yeah.
Lots of wind, lots of rain earlier last week, and it didn't hurt the water temperature. Our water temperature is 5-6 degrees warmer than normal.
It was definitely the type of system that should have really screwed things up for us, but it didn't. We should have seen a pretty drastic drop in conditions, and we really didn't. Just very minor, if anything at all. Yeah. And now we're right back to nice. I think it bodes really well for what's going to come this year.
Yeah, we're super pumped up for the upcoming shows and all the anticipation for what could be this year for sure. Really good.
Yeah, awesome, guys. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, we're jealous of that Southern California weather a lot of times. So
yeah, well, nice, but you guys have a lot of fish to catch back there too. So it's kind of a trade-off, right?
Yeah, we got a few.
So let's start off first with about your display at the upcoming Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show in Costa Mesa and Del Mar. By the way, are you guys
going to be there?
Yes, I know. I will be there, Pete. And yeah, we're super excited, kicking things off at Costa Mesa. We're going to be in booth 578. We're going to have a big emphasis on a couple products. You already talked about it, and I'm sure we're going to talk about it a little bit more today. But of course, Ledge Runner and our trolling systems. We are fortunate to have some of our pros that are going to be out and assisting us. Benny Ortiz is going to be taking the seminar stage. He's going to be talking about slow pitch jigging for tuna, along with rockfish and link cod and some of the bottom fishing opportunities. Benny Florentino, you guys know him well, obviously. He's going to be talking about bass fishing, talking about our new tranks that just came out, and Brandon Nelson of Lucky Bee is going to be roaming around the booth talking about all things tuna. So I don't want to give away too much. I know we have a very special display that we're really happy to debut for you guys out there. So you're just gonna have to stop by booth 578 and check it out.
You guys, Shimano really stole the show last year with a creative booth. It's been a while since Consumer Trade Show has seen such a involved, big, booth with all the pros. And, last year was the back of the boat and the rail system. And I'm pumped, it was almost like a blend of an ICAST style booth back to a consumer show, and it really stood out in a really good way. I can't wait for this year.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And that booth is amazing because it's like you're fishing from the boat, right?
Yeah, it's like you're on a sport boat. It's really cool.
When you do your seminars. Yeah, and those guys put on such great seminars, and you had some pretty fabulous things. So what is going to be debuted this year? I know one of the things I'm holding my hand for our Facebook and YouTube camera is this Shimano Ledge Runner that is debuting. Tell us about that product.
Yeah. So we can dive into it. So as you all know, when you look at the offshore market for trolling or kind of across the country, there's a few kind of traditional ways of fishing. One of those being a diving plug, and the diving plug really we feel on our side has evolved over the years. But fundamentally, there's a few key challenges that prevented it from being maybe the most effective all the time, or some areas that we wanted to offer improvements to it. So when we look at Ledge Runner is Shimano's version of a diving lure. We have two different sizes, so we launched a 200 and a 160 size. And some areas that we really wanted to focus on, there's kind of three key segments. So first was ADR, so adjustable depth range. And this is a pretty unique feature. It really enables anglers to change the trolling depth with ease and efficiency, giving unmatched versatility in our trolling spread. So the idea here is that there's a solid ring built to a solid plate that runs through the complete lure, and it's operated via a spring mechanism on the bottom of the bill. So if you have that version that's in your hand, maybe in front of you now, you can see. So if you press the front of the lip up from the bottom, it lifts that solid plate, and then you can adjust that split ring or that solid ring in one of three positions. So there's a deep, a medium, and a shallow. And each of those positions offers obviously a different running depth. And as you tune that running depth to your preference, you can also adjust the action, right? So the deeper version, the deeper position has a bit of a higher pitch or a wider wobble, and the shallower position is a little bit higher pitch, tighter action. So that's one kind of fundamental difference that we're pretty excited about. And what it allows for a few different things. One of the main things is if you're fishing close up to the boat, it allows you to really put it in that deep setting and run it below the prop wash. So in the cleaner water, more visible, whether you're fishing wahoo, tuna, whatever species, it puts it in an area where the lure's visible. Also, it allows for you to fish a tighter spread with less likelihood of tangling. So if you take what we like to fish, for wahoo fishing back here in Charleston, for example, is a 4-rod spread. So we can jump into the systems of it later, but staggering essentially every 25 feet. So when we pair that with our depth hunter line, you can fish those lures really tight together and set them at different depths. So you have a deep, a medium, a shallow, and another medium, for example. And then as you go into tight turns and things, you have very, very little, actually almost no likelihood of tangling. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. Additionally, go ahead.
That sounds amazing. And I know there's a great YouTube video on the Shimano site that features Dave Pfeiffer and shows them catching wahoo with the Ledge Runner. I believe it was the 200S, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, so 200 and also the 160. Actually,
Oh, the 160.
We're fortunate to get on the water with Dave a good bit, and he's a wealth of knowledge. And over the course of our fishing here locally, we've seen that 160 has really found a place, even on the wahoo. A lot of people, I think, associate that smaller size with being maybe for blackfin or a smaller tuna or things like that here, mahi. But we found it to be particularly effective on the wahoo as well. And it's interesting. So we're fishing the 200s close to the boat on the kind of the short positions off the corners, and then we're fishing those 160s on Talica 25 long. Wow,
that sounds super cool. Now, and you said both sizes, right?
Yes, sir. Yep. So there's a 200, like I mentioned, it's a sinking lure, and that's what we're fishing close. And the 160 actually is a floating lure that we fish far. And the difference in the sinking and the floating allows for, if you pull off the engines, the ones in the back will float up and your shorts will sink, and that just prevents any tangling as well as the boat comes out of gear, things like that. So the goal, I think, of this is to make it a really effective and simple spread to fish.
Wow, that
and
sounds
when you do that,
brilliant.
I know one of the other things that we're really looking forward to is this this style of lure. This shape. The shape isn't anything earth-shatteringly new. It's been very effective, and it has really taken over the type of lure that we use for wahoo fishing on our long-range boats. And it has kind of replaced the old school Marauder. Like there are several that have become real popular. The problem with them is the longevity has been poor, and this looks really robust. I think that's what we're so excited about. Obviously, the adjustability, being able to run deeper than the competition, but also it comes out of the box with a really good-looking set of hooks, and the body looks extremely durable. And that's been kind of the Achilles heel of some of the other brands that don't add up to maybe what Ledge Runner's about to, is just that you didn't get that longevity, and this thing looks very, very robust. Yeah, that was something, again, obviously wahoo bites, you see them on your long-range trips and boats that are heading down south from where you guys are at. But, they're brutal, man. A wahoo bite, smoking the lure at high speeds with its teeth and everything, they'll puncture it. You'll get water penetration and things like that, the lures of the past. And that's an area we really wanted to improve on with the Ledge Runner introduction. So, we have the body's 3 millimeters thick. As I mentioned, it's got that solid plate design throughout the entire lure. So if the lure was to crack and you had a fish of a lifetime on there, you don't have to worry about wire pulling out or breaking apart due to that plate construction.
Wow. And I'm pretty excited about, we're just on the cusp of what our yellowtail season here at the local islands and offshore and stuff like that. And I think that 160 with the treble hooks is going to be killer for that with the adjustable depth range, right?
Yeah, I think that's, again, going back to the versatility of both the 200 and the 160. I think we're excited for anglers to see the opportunities or realize the opportunities they have in the local waters. Again, I think, to your point, that 160 size on your local yellowtail there should be an awesome addition.
And Pete, just another thing that we're going to be doing at our booth during the Costa Mesa show and San Diego is every hour on the hour. We're going to have a Shimano team member going through the very specific rigging that we suggest for Ledge Runner. Starting with a wind down leader, going over crimps, going over chafe guards, all that stuff. So for those people looking to learn a little bit more about it, we're gonna have everything you need to get started and how to rig it and the gear to fish it on. So that's we're really excited about that also.
Oh, that's going to be cool. And you talked about the Power Pro, the metered line. Talk about that for a minute and how that helps when you're trolling Ledge Runner.
Yeah, it's huge. So when we look at, on the Shimano side, we use the word system. And when we talk about system, what we're really speaking about is a fully integrated solution, right? So in many cases, it's the rod, the reel, the line, and the bait all coming together to function in a fully integrated package. And for this system, for the Ledge Runner system, as we speak to it, we really talk about the metered line being standard depth hunter that comes in the 25-foot increments. So what that allows really for us to do is we're jumping on the boat, we're going out, our short position we know is 25 feet plus the wind on back. And then our next will be 50 feet plus the wind on, 75, and then 100, right? And that allows for us to set it. We don't have to mark the reels. We know, okay, we just let out 1 color, 2 colors, 3 colors, 4 colors. And again, going back to the simplicity, you're really focused on, and it allows for time of getting the spread out and fishing it effectively without too much work on the backside. So that's really the beauty of our Power Pro Depth Hunter series of line.
So are you trolling 80-pound, 100-pound Power Pro with some kind of like a 100-pound wind-on leader? 80-pound? What's the weight?
Yeah, so we like to stay on kind of not over exceeding kind of what the requirement of the fishery is. So for here on our 25s, so our 160 size long baits, we're fishing 65-pound Power Pro, or 50-pound. It kind of depends on your preference. And then we're fishing 80-pound up on the shorter ones.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And both the leader as well as the Power Pro are kind of matched up.
Yeah, the leader will typically go a bit heavier, so we'll fish from the Power Pro. We'll tie a bimini in it, and it's important you always end on a color, right? So the 25-foot increments, you want to end on the color transition. That way you know you're exact to your changeover point. Tie a bimini, and then just cat's paw a 25-foot fluorocarbon wind-on there. Usually on the wind-on, again, we're using like 60-pound wind-ons for the 160s, and then 80-pound wind-ons for the 200s. And then from there, we'll go to a swivel. We like to use just a standard swivel, not a ball bearing swivel. Typically, we find the smaller size is a little bit less of a presence in the water. And from there, we'll transition to about a 4-foot section of fluorocarbon leader. And usually there we'll fish 100 pound on the 160 and then 130 on the 200 in the tight baits. And then we go just straight, no swivel or anything, straight crimp with a wire chase guard to the solid ring on the lure.
Okay, for fishing wahoo and such.
Yeah, and that's our traditional wahoo spread here. Of course, guys in the Northeast on the West Coast are able to tailor that. But that, we found one, that the fluorocarbon leader section really allows the lure action and running to be true and maximize its potential and not interfere with the action in any way. And that wire chase guard really prevents any wear through. And we change them frequently to prevent any corrosion or anything. So that's kind of, again, what we found to be the best. And but we're excited to see what others come up with. Yeah,
and like you said, you are going to go over all this with hourly seminars on how to rig these at the PCS shows, both in Costa Mesa and San Diego, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Part of our show is, I think we have we want to be able to elevate the angler experience, not just in the product, but in our messaging and our storytelling. And the PCS show, we're always excited. It offers us a great platform to be able to do that. As you mentioned in the past, we have the rails on the boat simulating the fishing. Putting a bend in the rod in kind of a true West Coast format. So being able to engage with the customers, get their feedback, and have that meaningful connection is something we're always super excited about every year.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds great. Well, that's just one of the many products that Shimano's introducing this year. One of the new ones we're pretty excited about here, too, is that Tranx 400B. Tell us about that.
Yeah, yes, sir. We're excited about the Tranx 400B. Also, we did a similar revamp with the 300 size last year. So this is 400 is next in line. And what's exciting about the Tranx is obviously from freshwater applications to saltwater. I mean, that's a big nasty reel designed for big nasty fish. So I know there's some big swim bait bass guys in your neck of the woods in California that love a Tranx also. But really, the big addition here, guys, is the SVS Infinity MD Tune braking system. So that's an 8-pin brake shoe, and you have an external dial, so you're able to make adjustments on the go, and you have a lot more room to make adjustments depending on whether you're throwing a big paddle tail around kelp or you're throwing even casting iron. So really designed for throwing big heavy baits. So we're excited about that. And like I said, Benny Florentino is going to be able to speak to some real cool West Coast applications for the product also.
So you're saying that this new Tranx 400B is more powerful than the previous Tranx 400?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're like I said, we're super excited about it. It's always fun having a really new and redesigned product like that to show off. So as Tristin said, making sure that we're able to tell the story and explain the product and also explain the use case of some of this technology for the angler is really important to us. And we're going to be working at that during the show for sure.
So the SVS Infinity MD Tune is something new to this reel?
Yes, new for the B edition of the Tranx 400. Yep.
And so that just gives that just provides more adjustability.
Yeah, more adjustability, and it's really suited around, again, the Indy Tune is really suitable or built around larger baits. So guys who are throwing I know some guys still like to throw maybe an iron, a big calico bait, things that are heavier in weight. This braking system really is built and kind of adjusted or refined to be suitable for those big baits. So as you know, we have a standard SBS in some of our smaller, more traditional bait cast reel offerings, and this is just the upsized version for upsized fish, upsized baits, and what you guys are really seeing out there on the West Coast.
Cool.
That sounds cool.
That's great.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Well, as you can hear, we have a great show lined up for today. A lot to talk about with Tristin and Kade from Shimano here, and these guys are obviously live it and breathe it, both East and West, and know the products, and they help develop the products, as a matter of fact, here for Shimano. So stay tuned. This is going to be a fantastic couple hours here with these guys.
Yeah, so much to learn and so much cool stuff to cover. And if you want to join us, man, we want to hear from you. If you want to be a part of Let's Talk Hookup, give us a call this morning at 833-288-0973. We are standing by at the Fan Studios to take your phone calls. Again, 833-288-0973. Or you can send us a text if you want to text in your questions to the show. The only way to do that is through the Let's Talk Hookup app. It's not often that we have guys that are this tech advanced with our new Shimano gear coming out. Lots of great questions coming for the show. And if you want to text in your questions to Tristin or to Kade, again, it's only available through the Let's Talk Hookup app. It's a free download if you don't have it already. It's the easiest way to listen to Let's Talk Hookup. You can catch all the archive shows. If you're not able to listen live, you can listen on your drive home from work. It's a pretty slick way to do it. And you can catch all the great info from Tristin and from Kade this morning. When you do send in your text, make sure you include your contact info. Just a name and a phone number along with your question is all we need in case you're the winner of today's prize. And boy, do you want to win something today. So these brand new ledge runners have just hit the shelf. Brand new.
You have them at Fisherman's Landing
We
Tackle
do, yeah.
now.
We've got them at the tackle store. Right? Yeah, we've got them right now. We love them. We're really excited about them. But you will be the first on your block to have a set of ledge runners, because one lucky caller or texter is going to win a set of 4 of the brand new ledge runners. That's courtesy of our good friends over at Shimano, and a big thanks to Tristin and Kade and the whole team over there for making that happen. Not a lot of guys have a 4-pack of that brand new lure on the shelf. And in addition to winning those killer jigs, you're also going to get 2 tickets to go to the PCS show. It's going to be your choice whether you want to go to the Costa Mesa show, which starts March 5th through the 8th, or if you want to go to the PCS Del Mar show, that's going to be the 19th through the 22nd, a killer prize combo for one lucky caller or texter at the end of the show today. Again, if you want to get through, it's 833-288-0973. And when we come back, we're going to be taking your phone calls, reading text, and a whole lot more with Tristin and Kade. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California's sport fishing voice, on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Everything about Katmai Lodge is first rate, and it should be on the bucket list of everyone who enjoys fishing. This is Brandon Bono. My visit to Katmai Lodge is an experience I will never forget. Constructed on the banks of the Alagnak River in Katmai National Park, the lodge is a fishing dream come true. The experience is incomparable. Whether bait casting, spin, or fly fishing, you'll find king, sockeye, chum, coho, and pink salmon, plus trout, grayling, char, and dolly varden. Their guides are amazing. Days are exciting and fun with hot lunches and snacks served on the river. The brown bears, bald eagles, beaver, otters, and other wildlife you see is amazing. The lodge staff is great. There's complimentary wine, beer, and appetizers before a fantastic dinner every evening. Take it from me, a trip to Katmai Lodge should be on your list. For information, visit katmai.com or call 1-800-330-0326. Once again, that's Katmai Lodge, KATMAI.com.
If you spend serious time on the water, you already know how fast conditions can change. Glare shifts, light drops, wind kicks up, and when you're fishing all day, your gear has to keep up. That's why Costa built the Pilot House Pro. It's a semi-rimless shield designed to give you a full, unobstructed view of the water with the clarity Costa's known for and the protection serious anglers actually need. Pilot House Pro is Z87.1 Plus safety rated, ventilated to fight fog, and built to stay locked in when things get rough. From flying hooks to long hours in the sun, it's made for real conditions, not just the easy parts of the day. If you want eyewear that works as hard as you do on the water, check out the Pilot House Pro at CostaDelMar.com. See what's out there. Safety rated in U.S. only.
A top fleet and superb fishing is what Seaforth Sport Fishing in Mission Bay is all about. With free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, it's no wonder Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limit, El Gato Dos, Pride, Tribute Pacifica, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth, Sea-Watch, and San Diego offer the finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing. For charters or regular open parties schedule, check SeaforthLanding.com. Run by fishermen for fishermen in Mission Bay.
The PCS show is coming, and we will have our best booth ever. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle. Check us out in the wildly popular saltwater building at the PCS show in Costa Mesa. We will have exclusive products and promotions available only from us. Everything at the Fisherman's Landing Tackle booth will be on sale with a ton of high-quality saltwater products that no one else at the show will have. For saltwater tackle at the PCS show, your best stop is the Fisherman's Landing Tackle booth.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. What a fun show it's going to be today, having
Yeah.
Tristin and Kade in here. Man, I'm pumped.
Yeah, no, super cool. We were just talking about Tranx 400 and the new Ledge Runner, and now another new introduction is that Osea Jigger, the big game. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I think you might be referencing the Osea Plugger BG. It's our big game casting rod. So, honestly, man, this is something that I think both Kade and I have a ton of passion about and are super excited. So we launched, I think in 2023, their initial version, first introduction to the U.S. of Osea Plugger big game. This rod's really our flagship casting rod, built really, honestly, around big tuna. So in Japan, obviously, they have a lot of tuna fishery, and historically, it's been kind of jigging and casting, and they've really seen the casting market continue to emerge, obviously, for various reasons. The excitement of catching a lure on a topwater or a fish on a topwater, the ability to engage with the tackle system. Spinning tackle has continued to advance. So in the past, like the feeling of a coffee grinder or people summing up a spinning reel as a coffee grinder really is gone. And what we're able to do with Stella and Twin Power SW and some of the reels now is pretty amazing. But Osea Plugger Big Game, again, is kind of our flagship casting rod. We've got in this new model 5 models, or this new series, we've got 5 models ranging from a 7-foot triple XH all the way up to an 8.3 XH that's a 3-piece. So for guys who are traveling and things like that, we can jump into technology and things. But have you guys had any chance to fish any of these rods yet?
Oh yeah, I've fished Osea Plugger. It's unbelievable how much distance you can get out of whether you put the Stella on there, and it's unbelievable how far you can cast with that rod. It's a game changing rod.
Yeah, and we've got some of that. I think the casting performance, the fish fighting performance, comes from some of our technology. So you guys, anyone who's familiar with Shimano is probably familiar with Spiral X Core, and High Power X. But
right.
Just a quick rundown. If you guys want to hear about Spiral X, I can kind of walk you through that technology.
Go for it. Yeah, totally.
You know, on our side, we're kind of geeks for the technology, the features that make these rods what they are. So we always like to spend a little bit of time discussing them. But yeah, so Spiral X4 is our kind of flagship blank technology, and what it is at the base of the mandrel, we roll carbon tape at a 45-degree angle before any of the standard sheet material is applied. So we have that carbon tape. Then there's the standard sheet material, which is the vertical 0-degree fiber. Then after that's laid, we roll carbon tape opposite direction of that interior layer at the opposite 45-degree angle.
Wow.
So
and
then
that's Spiral
infused
X
with a
name there?
That is, yes, sir. And that's infused then with a nano resin. So the core, Spiral X core, which is, again, kind of at the top, is a nano resin impregnation into that material. So it really filters in, seals it up really tight, and that allows us to produce a rod with a higher strength to weight ratio.
And that gives you that incredible power when throwing a big plug.
Yeah, that's right. And it also prevents any blank ovalization. So if you think of a straw, as you start to bend a straw, it starts to ovalize and then it eventually folds. That's the same thing with how a fishing rod breaks. And through this Spiral X core technology, it reinforces the rigidity, and so it prevents ovalization significantly more than a standard blade construction.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Now,
and that's I was just going to say that's the thing about it is like you can't it's one of those things. It's like talking about a Seakeeper. Like you can't appreciate that final product until you hold it in your hands. Like you can't look at say a Plugger Big Game and see that rod in the rack and pick it up in one. Just you can't imagine how lightweight that is, and then that it's going to provide the power and lift for taking tuna that are triple digit size and beyond. Like it doesn't compute until you see it in action. It's unbelievable how lightweight yet powerful that combination still is.
And super cool that you make one in a 3-piece so you can take it to Panama or wherever with you, right?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly, man. Yeah, so just it kind of Spiralex core, it provides up to 10% more torsional rigidity and 15% more compressional rigidity than standard Spiralex. So Spiralex is already leaps and bounds ahead of standard blade construction, and this just improves even more on top of that with the nano resin. So
go ahead.
Oh, and Peter, just next time you're getting ready for a big Panama trip, I just wanted to highlight too. So like obviously, these rods are made for guys throwing super big poppers and baits like that. We also make an Oshia bomb dip in a 170 size. We have 6 different colors. And I just wanted to highlight here, these poppers have a cupped face and a bubble chamber. And man, especially on these big game rods, you can just work them really fast and rip them around, and it just leaves an awesome bubble trail. And it's an unbelievable bait that works really, really well in conjunction with this rod, along with the Stella. You can throw it a mile. And it's, we've there's been a lot of big tuna fall victim to the bomb dip over the years. That's for sure.
What size Stella are you using?
So these rods really, in the big game, really are to support anywhere from on the smallest side, a 14,000 up to 30,000.
Wow.
And we did just recently introduce a 25,000. So, this is really servicing the market. In the past, a lot of anglers have actually purchased a Umea part. It's a special edition spool out of Japan that was a 20,000 max. So it was the 20,000 size spool, but the line capacity of a little bit deeper, like a 25,000.
Yeah.
And so we ended up seeing the demand for that and brought in a standard reel now in a 25. So it's got deep, heavy, high line capacity, but a little bit smaller arbor. So the casting performance, you're not getting such a big loop coming off of your spool as it interacts with that guide and the blank on your cast. So we're excited. But yeah, so I think 14,000 and up, all the way up to 30,000 for those Osea Plugger Big Games.
Sure, yeah, and not just Panama. I'll tell you what, the way things are shaping up with our big bluefin season coming up here in the spring, and when that stuff really gets on that popper here, and I think this is going to be a year that we're going to be looking at needing the big Stella and the Osea Plugger Big Game here on the West Coast.
We're a market that is so conventional gear driven. It's how we grew up, It's how we fish, it's what we do, and it's one of the reasons Tranx 500 has become so popular. But there's a lot to be said about appropriately, you talked about systems earlier, appropriately matched gear. I think with big game spinning tackle, Shimano makes gear that equals the playing field in terms of, conventional versus spinning. It's not cheap. It's an investment you're going to make. Say a big game is not an inexpensive rod, but neither is a 10-day trip and the fuel and the time and everything else that it takes to do it. And it's one of those things that spinning, when you decide that you want a big game spinning outfit, it's one of the few times that you need to kind of sack up and make that big purchase. And we talk about it in the tackle store all the time. Shimano is fantastic at offering gear for every level that one can participate in. And if Trinidad isn't in your budget, well, Torium is. And if Talica isn't in your budget, Speedmaster is. And I know that spinning is that same way, but it's one of the few times when spending the extra money for the power that a Twin Power or Stella gives you, it really makes a difference, because you're going to rely on that power when you're trying to fight a big fish with spinning tackle. Conventional, we have the rail and we have other things that allow us to create, power and pressure and take the heat off of you. But spinning tackle, you're one-on-one. There's no resting that thing on the rail when you're fighting a fish, and it deserves a rod at the level of Plugger Big Game and Stella.
Yeah, for sure. Well, phones are packed, Rick. Texts are, we've already have lots and lots of texts. A lot of texts. They want to talk to Tristin and Kade, so let's jump into the phones.
I'm ready, man. We're going to start off with Alex. He's calling us from San Carlos this morning. Alex, thanks for getting us started here on Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys. I got two questions. First off, I got a trip to Hawaii coming up next month. Never been to Oahu before. I'm planning on taking a travel rod and the 8-foot 20 to 40. I'm thinking about either taking the Tranx 400 or the 500. I wasn't sure if you guys have a recommendation and which lures I should take for just fishing off the rocks.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, man, I think probably a 400 will suit you well, especially on a rod like that. I've been fortunate to go to Hawaii and do some fishing there, and even on like the larger or medium-sized, GT or something like that you would hook from the rocks. I think that 400 will serve you well, and obviously if you put braid on it, 50-pound or something like that, 60-pound, I think it'll be more than enough.
Alex, thanks for the call, man. We appreciate it. I do want to. You asked about baits. One of our new baits for 2026 is we had a little bit of a revamp with our current sniper jig lineup, and if you're familiar, you can rip these things vertical. You can wind them as fast as you possibly can on top of the water. They're super versatile. And we make them all the way up to 4 1/4 ounce. So I'd try to pack a couple of those along. I'm a big blue sardine, a fan of the blue sardine color. So I'd like to pick some of those up too.
It's forever a challenge for us out here to not say the word Colt Sniper, but you're right. Current Sniper, I got to try and bash that into my mind. There's not a fish that swims that doesn't eat that stupid lure. It drives me. It's so cool. And man, hats off to Shimano. Like it's very rare that the best lure for catching a rockfish or a sculpin off the bottom is also the best lure for catching a salmon on the slide, and is somehow also the best thing for casting to a tuna. But man, you want to talk about something that gets bit just everywhere. You just pick the size and the style and insert that particular lure. That's as home run as they get.
Good tips. Yeah. Hey, thanks. Go ahead.
Oh, just wanted to highlight quick. When you check these out, when you check up the new version of these for 2026, really the only thing that's changed is it's a scale boost. It's our scale boost technology. So the colors have been refined a little bit. They look, they have real lifelike, hologram-esque scale patterns on them. So I'd really, once you guys catch these, Pete, you got my email, obviously. I'd really love your feedback on what you think of how these jigs look.
For sure. I'm excited to see them and actually go out and put them to use, too, because like Ricky says, it's like everything eats that stuff. And if it's more enhanced with the scale-like looks and stuff like that, fantastic. That's going to be really cool.
The potato chip of the ocean, that's for sure.
Yeah, perfect. No doubt. That's exactly what it is. Rick, you have a good text?
Thought so. This was text in from Ralph in Minnesota. He says, good morning, everybody. Can't express how much I like Shimano products. Everything from my current snipers up to my Talicas. My question for Tristin and Kade, I absolutely love my Trinidads, but I really want to make the switch and get a few spinning outfits for this hopeful upcoming El Nino season. What are 2 outfits that are similar in performance and ease of use to my Trinidads that would be appropriate for this upcoming year? Again, that's Ralph and Menifee.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Ralph. We appreciate the question here. So I think really the reels, I think, matching up with the Trinidad in terms of performance and kind of where they were positioned in the hierarchy would be Twin Power SW and Saragossa. So I would recommend taking a look at those. I don't know what size Trinidad you're fishing. Perhaps it's a 20. If you are fishing a 20 Trinidad, then I think somewhere around between a 10,000 and a 14,000 size reel would be optimal for you there. Those are pretty versatile. They cover, I would say, nearly 90% of techniques, unless you're going for something really big game, or you're fishing, a much smaller Trinidad that you want to cover some lighter, shallower water tactics or something like that. But yeah, man. So just Saragossa, 10, 14, I think are probably the most versatile for you there, and same in the Twin Power lineup.
Why, boys, would one person choose? A Saragossa, a great performing saltwater reel, easier on the budget, very appropriate, one of the most popular saltwater spinners we sell out here, versus spending the extra bucks in getting Twin Power. Where does the difference lie, and what do your extra bucks gain you when you make the jump from one to the other?
Yeah, so both of the reels feature some of our core technology, Hagane body, Hagane gear, which is our cold forge spinning reel gear. I think one of the major differences that we always like to highlight is a heat sink drag. And heat sink drag really is a technology that in big game, larger fish scenarios, maybe it's a big yellowtail he's casting to or something like that, disperses the heat down and out of the spool. So the bottom of the spool where the drag engages is an area under high drag that we see a lot of heat accumulation. And in twin power SW and now in Stella SW, of course, we have that heat dissipation mechanism. That's not featured in Saragossa. As you mentioned, Saragossa is still an awesome reel and covers a lot of fishery and applications for many, many people. But that heat sink drag in twin power really is a huge point of differentiation.
All right.
Awesome.
Good stuff,
Yeah,
man.
no doubt this is going to be a great one.
These guys know they know their product.
No doubt, man. Going to be a fun one again. You stay tuned. Lots more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More your phone calls, more your texts, and obviously a lot more with Tristin and Kade. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan. One rod has set the standard for serious saltwater anglers worldwide, and that's CalStar. From the rugged dependability of the West Coast Series, the lightweight strength of the Graphiter, or the performance of the GG Series, all CalStar rods are handmade right here in Southern California of the finest materials and craftsmanship. Check out the new CalStar models now available, as well as upgrades to the classic rods that you know and love. If you want your tackle to be state-of-the-art tools to get the job done right, it's CalStar at Fine Tackle Dealers.
Hi, this is Captain Ray Lopez, owner-operator of the American Angler. I've spent more than half my life aboard the American Angler along with my partners Brian and Lori, developing a team that's as good as it gets. I've been fortunate to spend time on the ocean with so many fine people that I look forward to fishing with. We can't thank you enough for being part of the American Angler family, and if you haven't joined us, we love the opportunity to meet you. Text or call Lori at 619-223-5414 or check AmericanAnglerSportFishing.com.
Get ready for the most exciting sports show of the year, the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Tackle, Boat, and Travel Show, presented by Geico. Now 2 great dates and locations. First, the giant 16th Annual Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show, March 5th through the 8th at the OC Fair and Event Center in Costa Mesa. Then, the first annual Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show, San Diego, March 19th to the 22nd at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. Check out hundreds of sport fishing exhibitors, manufacturers, tackle dealers, fishing boats, and fishing resorts, taking up the huge fairgrounds at both locations, plus fantastic seminars and free kids trout pond. Seminars featuring some of the top names in the industry, from catching giant bluefin, swordfish, calico bass, freshwater bass, trout, and more. Take advantage of incredible show specials from major tackle retailers and boat dealers. Talk to the top fishing travel destinations. Thursday, March 5th to Sunday, March 8th at the Orange County Fairgrounds in Costa Mesa, and in San Diego, March 19th to the 22nd at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. Presented by Geico. Check sportfishingfestival.com.
Here's the hot tip on the best fishing LA has to offer. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. They are home to LA's finest open party fleet, including overnight on the Freedom, Catalina Freelance on the Pursuit, half-day trips on the Monte Carlo, and 3/4-day trips on the Sea Angler. For your own private charter, we have the Outrider and True Line available. There's always plenty of free parking and a fully stocked tackle store. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. Call 310-832-8304 or on the web at 22ndstreet.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning. Lots of fun, lots of great info going on, and man, we're having a great time. If you want to join us again, it's been a very busy morning. In fact, the phones are 100% full right now, but there's going to be lots of opportunities to get you through. Again, it's 833-288-0973. And as promised, it's time for the Catch Report. We're going to find out what's biting out there. Today, that Catch Report is sponsored by Summit Gasoline at the San Diego Sports Arena. It is the place to fill up your car, your truck, and most importantly, your boat with the lowest in gas and diesel prices. Do you know that Summit is also the place to get the lowest prices on ice and snacks before your trip? Over 40 snacks for just 89 cents, as well as fresh sandwiches, burritos, salads, frozen bait too. Ice is nearly half the price of the other places at only $3.99 for a 25-pound bag. Plus, you get 100 pounds of ice for free with a 35-gallon fill, and the best car wash in town for just $6. It's Summit Gasoline, free ice for our Let's Talk Hookup listeners, and always the lowest prices in gas at the San Diego Sports Arena. We got him, Captain Brian Woolley of Dana War Sport Fishing is on the line. We're heading up north. Good morning, Woolley.
Hey, good morning, guys. How's it going this morning?
Doing great, buddy.
Talking one of your favorite chubbucks, Shimano, right?
There you go. Absolutely. Hey, short week, obviously. You know, we got the boat off the dock a couple days with that weather, but even after that, it's crazy. The water is still above 60 degrees. So, I mean, it's just wild with that vengeance that all that wind and whatnot came through here. We're still 61 degrees has been the water temp here along our little stretch. So very good to see that. With that, the bass fishing has been, it wasn't challenging. You just had to put a little bit more effort into it, right? Most of the catch has been on the lighter line approaches. We're talking like 8 to 12 pound line and near the bottom on like a Carolina rig. or a reverse dropper loop, getting those strip baits like the sardine and the mackerel kind of down in the zone there. The calico bass action on the smaller profiled lures, mid-water, like the fluke lure was decent. The dirty off-color water has really been the issue. So things are starting to get together and kind of straighten out from that week of weather. But we did see plenty of action, some catch and release on that mixed bass. So we're still catching fish even in the kind of that funky water. Deeper zones kicking out sculpin, whitefish, and sand dabs. It's been an easy 5 fish on the sculpin for the anglers fishing that rubber lure, getting it down in that zone and shaking it around a little bit, catching some of that. And then on our halibut derby, we knew it was a matter of time to get those fish moving around. There was a 26-pounder caught on Friday's drift trip, which was a solid fish. So that fish has kind of taken the lead for the month of February. Not going to say impossible to beat. They did see some good sign. They had a handful of other legal fish. I think they had a 12-pounder and a couple smaller 5-6-pounders on that same trip. So seeing stuff in the right zones, which is kind of what, we've always been talking about, that halibut. It was a matter of time, just that stuff needed, I think, a little shake-up to get moving around. So even though it was a short week, we did see some good things happen, and we're looking forward to things getting better this week with this good weather ahead. So if you want to hop on a trip with us, our number here, 949-496-5794. Of course, you can link us there through the Let's Talk Hookup page or hit us at DanaWharf.com.
Awesome. Well, great info, and we got a beautiful week of weather coming our way. There's some big halibuts to be had on the ground. There's some, the always opportunities at some surface game
Sea
fish
bass,
when weather gets like this,
right.
And we got a nice little stretch of it coming. Willie, great job, a great report. We'll look forward to hearing another one next week.
Sounds great, guys. Have a great week. Thanks for the time. We'll talk
Thanks,
again.
Willie. Appreciate that as always, man. Great info, and I love it. I love it. That halibut drift trip, such a cool trip, especially when there's big fish biting like that.
Oh, yeah. 26-pounder, a nice one for sure. Hey, let's jump back in the phones, Rick. They're packed up, and you want to get through when one line opens, 833-288-0973. Don't forget, we're giving away a set of 4 of these new Shimano ledge runners, as well as 2 tickets to the PCS show, your choice of Del Mar or Costa Mesa. Yeah.
All right. Well, how about we jump back into the phones? Let's try Robert. He's calling us from Canyon Country. Hey, Robert. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Let's Talk Hookup is the most awesome show. Where else can I call in and talk to the guys from Shimano? So
sure is. Couldn't agree more.
Oh, yeah. Incredible. So I've been playing with spinning reels. Just started and was able to get a couple of I won a couple of jackpots just because of that spinning reel. I could cast a little bit further than everybody else. How does a bait runner work? I'm real curious about a bait runner. And real quick, I just wanted to throw it out there. You guys are awesome. Been looking for a travel rod, and I think I just found one. And lastly, Pete, my eyes are starting to give out. Where can I get prescription Costas?
Okay.
Good questions.
Yeah. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, we're super pumped that you're experimenting with some spinning tackle. Again, we feel pretty strongly there's a lot of application where spinning is very viable and has a place. So that's great to hear. Bait runners are awesome reels. They've obviously been around for a long time. Typically, when we think of bait runner on the Shimano side, we think of some type of bait, whether that's dead bait or live bait fishing application. So in cases where you're fishing a lure consistently, you want to engage it. You want one drag that's performing consistently because it's really a manual operation. But in the case of bait runner, it disengages the main drag and engages a secondary drag that allows it to be at a very light poundage. So when you get bit, you can have the bail closed. The reel's not engaged. The drag will run. When you crank the handle over, it engages back to the primary drag on the top of the spool stack. And so essentially it goes from very light drags when you get bit, the fish is able to run with ease, to engaging back into your primary drag. So it's a functionality, again, really built initially around live or dead bait, if that answers your question there.
Yeah, that should cover it. Thanks a lot. That's excellent. And as far as prescription Costas, Sport RX, go see your local optometrist, but also go see Bob and the gang at the Costa Mesa or Del Mar San Diego PCS show and go to the Costa booth. But they might have a a prescription guy in their booth. Generally, they do.
Exactly, yeah.
That will fix you up. But Sport RX, I know my wife Lolly wears prescription Costas, and they are amazing over there. Sport RX, they're in San Diego. I think they might have another location in LA, but they also are online too, sportrx.com. But they do a great job with prescription lenses.
I met them at I believe it was PCS show, could have been a show in previous, but yeah, I think that's kind of the spot.
Yeah.
That's what everybody goes.
Thanks a lot for the call there. Hey, another great text here from Ted in San Diego. He says, good morning, gents. Excited to see Shimano at PCS. What benefits other than thinner diameter will Max 8 provide compared to Power Pro Max Quattro? I have a Tranx 500 PG and will get a new Tranx 400 benefit me at the bottom fishing in Alaska for lingcod and halibut. Good fit for salmon trolling. He says, I need a new reel. Who doesn't?
like your style.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
Yeah, Max 8 versus Max Quattro.
Yeah, so both of the Max lines feature HT fiber. So they both have the same 25% thinner diameter characteristics. The biggest difference is standard Max Quattro is a 4-carrier braid, where Max 8 has, as it's mentioned in the name, is an 8-carrier. What that 8-carrier provides is smoother casting, smoother line feel, again, because it's a more round construction than the 4-carrier. So if you're fishing in a situation where you value a little bit of a smoother line, a little bit maybe smoother, longer casting performance, that's where you'll really see the value of Max 8.
So on a bait casting reel or a spinning reel? Yes,
sir, that's correct. Yeah, either application. Both lines are applicable. Again, the casting characteristics and line performance of the 8-carrier is the separation.
Also, too, with a 4-carrier like a Max Quattro, like Tristin said before, Max 8 is super smooth casting and has a smooth feel. But with a 4-carrier, it's a little sharper, and that really comes in handy if you're fishing around kind of gnarly kelp or weeds or anything like that. If you're bass fishing, inshore fishing, if you're around some vegetation, sometimes that 4-carrier gives you a little bit of an edge.
Better saw blade.
So maybe for putting on your popper rod, maybe use the Max 8, and putting on your calico rod, put the regular Max Quattro, right? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, exactly. Totally, yeah.
Okay.
That's cool.
That's good information.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Well, hey, had another fun text come through. This one was from John in Mira Mesa. Guys, I'm very curious on Shimano's percentages of fishing versus cycling sales, and I'm very curious, has cycling technology ever made its way into fishing tackle or vice versa? Also, are there any other industries that Shimano's involved in?
Yeah, so obviously cycling globally is a huge segment. So we kind of see, I think, globally majority of the business in that category. But from a technology standpoint, there is a lot of overlap. As you know, our brand began or was started in Japan, in Sakai, in 1921 with the construction of the bicycle freewheel. And that metalworking background really allowed the transition and the bloom, I guess you could say, of Shimano in the fishing segment. So metalworking, you can see the transition from bike gears and bike parts into fishing, drive gears and main shafts and all the cold forging and metalworking that exists on the fishing side today. So it is a unique balance between the two, but it's a cool story. And we're here today where we are because of the bicycle freewheel in 1921.
Pretty amazing.
I mean, gearing just has to set Shimano apart more than probably other things from the competition that is there. Like, the reels are just so smooth and so powerful, and we talk about it a lot in the tackle store. Like, it often wins. A reel has to win in the lineup at the showcase, and it's one of the hardest places. When you line everybody's top products out and you let the customer feel them, it's hard to ever beat a Shimano because you pick that thing up and the handle turns and there's just nothing. It's like butter. It's the most smooth. It's the most powerful, and that they're a gear company first, man. They're really good at doing that.
That's for sure. Now, speaking of go ahead. Okay.
I was just going to say, one thing that is so important to us and our brand is that feeling that you feel when you first pick up a Shimano reel, that you feel that after long, extensive, use with the reel, right? So we want to maintain the reel's performance over the lifetime of the product, not just in the in-store feeling. And a lot of that comes from the Hagane gear on the spinning side. You can cast a gear, you can machine one, and we use a cold forging process. So it's, I think, like 2,000 tons of pressure used to stamp the reel at room temperature, cold forging, right? And that preserved all the grains and kind of micro, I don't know the exact right word, but micro attributes of the metal are consolidated and condensed. They're not cut and they're not poured. And that's something really unique to Shimano and to the way our reels perform over a long period of time.
Another kind of cornerstone technology I just want to point out too is micro module gearing. So we use many gear teeth in contact, smaller gear teeth in contact with each other. So if you think about it, you got bigger gears, bigger gear teeth. Those bigger gears, there's a little bit more play in between them, but with the micro module gearing, given the size of those gear teeth, it's they fit very well together, and it's super smooth. So that's another one of our.
Well said, boys. Awesome. Well, we're coming up to the end of the first hour. We got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. We're staying on with Tristin and Kade. You stay tuned. Great information still to come, just like you've been hearing from the boys. It's a good one. It's Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California Sport Fishing Voice. We're on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Hi, this is Christy Wheeler with Dawson & Associates Insurance, your full-service agency specializing in boat insurance, including charter, commercial, and personal use boats, business insurance, and travel insurance. We work hard to get you the most coverage for the best prices and guarantee the lowest rates available on all the travel plans we offer. So give us a call today at Dawson & Associates Insurance at 619-460-5615 for a free quote today.
Hello, this is Captain Mike Totter from Searcher Sport Fishing. Alongside my colleague, Chef Josh Evans, and our dedicated team, we invite you to join us aboard the Searcher. Our fishing trips range from a day and a half to 8 days, available May through November, and include charter options. We're committed to upholding a legacy of top-notch customer service, delicious food, and a friendly and talented crew. Book your fishing adventure online at searchersportfishing.com or call Rachel at 619-226-2403. That's searchersportfishing.com. We look forward to welcoming you aboard.
Are you ready for reliability? Then you're ready for a Yamaha outboard. And there's no better time to jump on board than during our Ready for Reliability sales event. From now until March 31st, 2026, eligible new Yamaha 30 to 450 horsepower outboards get 2 additional years of warranty protection for a total of up to 7 years of warranty coverage. Plus, Yamaha 2.5 to 25 horsepower outboards come with up to $200 in dealer credit. Get ready to enjoy Yamaha reliability with a new outboard today. Visit your local Yamaha dealer for details. Yamaha, reliability starts here. Offer ends March 31st, 2026. Subject to change. Other restrictions and conditions apply. Select models excluded. 24-month Yamaha extended service added to 36 or 60-month factory limited warranty. Choice offered to Florida residents is a 24-month Yamaha limited warranty. See authorized participating Yamaha outboard dealers for details. Cannot be used with any other Yamaha offer.
For your next fishing adventure, check Point Loma Sport Fishing. They offer half-day and full-day trips daily, perfect for families and the novice or seasoned fishermen. Point Loma Sport Fishing also offers overnight to multi-day trips, targeting the best of seasonal catches. Visit PointLomaSportFishing.com, where you can purchase tickets online and get more information on the trips available, or call 619-223-1627. Want to go fishing? Point Loma Sport Fishing has you covered.
It's Truck Month at your local San Diego County Ford dealers. The biggest deals of the year on Ford trucks are happening now. From Pro Power Onboard to Blue Cruise Tech and the Ford Security Package, Ford's award-winning truck lineup is built with the power and utility to help you take on whatever life throws your way. From F-Series, America's best-selling truck, to the Ford Maverick and the Ford Ranger, built to take you everywhere from work to play. Check out the entire lineup of Ford trucks and take a test drive today. Go to your local San Diego County Ford dealers today